Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Philly and the Brain. And in today's episode, we're gonna dive into a topic that's profound and painful for some. The question is, are Black Americans a people without a nation? Sounds crazy, right? Stick with me. We'll explore this through the lens of historical migrations, the complex relationships that we as Black Americans have with the United States, and through the lens of those seeking belonging beyond these borders. All right, you interested? Stay tuned, we're gonna dive right into it, but before we do, hit that like, subscribe, and that notification bell so you know when we're dropping more hot stuff. All right, let's go. I've been wrestling with something heavy lately. A feeling more than a thought, really. You see, I grew up in South Central Los Angeles. I had to take 2 city buses to school out in Redondo Beach, California every day. It's a total contrast. Let me give you translation. I basically went from rags to riches every day. So I grew up with questions. It made me question everything about my identity. It made me question my belonging. And because I was a little nerd who loved history, it made me think about our historical displacement. I need to elaborate on this. It's the idea that Black Americans, we are a people without a nation. We've been here for centuries. We've built so much. We've contributed so much, yet it often feels like we're still searching for a true home, a true sense of belonging within these borders that we're supposed to call our home. And yet even sometimes beyond these borders, because racism exists everywhere, but that's a whole nother show. This sentiment resonates deeply with historical and contemporary migration patterns of Black Americans. Let's start by examining the most significant internal migration in American history, the Great Migration. The Great Migration wasn't just people moving from one place to another. It was a mass exodus, a desperate search for something better, something that was denied to us in the South. But even then, the Promised Land wasn't quite what it seemed. The Great Migration, spanning from approximately 1910 to 1970, saw roughly 6 million Black people relocate from the American South to the northern, Midwestern, and Western states. This monumental movement was primarily driven by the desire to escape the brutal realities of racial violence, the oppressive Jim Crow laws, and to pursue economic and educational opportunities that were systematically denied in the South. And there were 2 distinct waves to it. It wasn't just one continuous flow. Historians typically divided it into 2 major phases, largely coinciding with the impact of the 2 wars on the United States. The first Great Migration, occurring roughly between 1910 and 1940, saw Black Southerners primarily relocate to industrial cities in the Northeast and Midwest, such as New York, Chicago, Detroit, and Pittsburgh. The outbreak of World War I in 1917 created a significant labor vacuum, as able-bodied men were sent to fight in Europe, and with a decline in European immigration and existing ban on non-white laborers, the Black population became a crucial labor supply for non-agricultural industries. We were needed for the labor, but not necessarily welcome as equals. While migrants often found better paying jobs and escaped the overt oppression of Jim Crow, they were frequently met with new forms of injustice and discrimination. Tensions escalated, leading to events like the Red Summer of 1919, which was rooted in the prejudice and tensions arising from white communities adjusting to demographic shifts. The Second Great Migration, from approximately 1940 to 1970, saw an even larger movement. World War II's expansion of the nation's defense industry created a new surge of jobs, encouraging more Black Americans to move north and further west to cities like Oakland, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Portland, and Seattle. However, this period also brought new forms of systemic discrimination, including housing discrimination, restrictive covenants, and redlining. These practices created segregated neighborhoods and laid the groundwork for persistent racial disparities in wealth. So we left one form of oppression only to find another. It's like we as Black Americans were always chasing a mirage, always seeking a place where we belong, where our humanity was fully recognized. This historical context brings us back to the title of this show, Black Americans, a People Without a Nation. This sentiment is unfortunately reinforced by the ongoing experiences of Black Americans within the United States. It's not just the historical injustices. It's the constant feeling that America doesn't truly want us. Not for who we are, but for what we can produce. They want that. Our art, our music, our culture, it's celebrated, it's consumed, and often appropriated while the people who create it are still fighting for basic dignity and equality. I'm talking specifically about cultural appropriation. Elements of Black culture, from music genres like jazz to hip hop to hairstyles and language, have become global phenomenon, often adopted and profited from by those outside the culture, frequently without proper credit, understanding, or respect for the origins. It can feel like an extraction where the cultural product is valued, but the producers are not. And it's not just the culture. Look at the exploitation of Black artists throughout history. From the early days of music to now, so many Black creators have been denied fair compensation, had their work stolen, or been trapped in predatory contracts. It's a pattern of taking without giving back, of valuing the output, but not the individual. This exploitation, coupled with systemic racism in areas like housing, education, and the justice system, is the reason why Black Americans feel the way that we do. We feel that despite our contributions, despite our struggle, despite the sacrifices that we've made, despite our loved ones being snatched from us, we still don't feel like we're fully accepted or that we have equity in this place. And then there's the other side of the coin. While many African nations, particularly Ghana, Sierra Leone, and Nigeria, have actively welcomed African Americans, Black Americans, while the desire to escape racism in the US and reconnect with ancestral roots is a powerful motivator, returnees can face cultural differences, as you would with any place you decide to relocate to, economic tensions, and even a sense of othering from the local populations. The experiences and identities of African Americans, shaped by centuries in the United States, can sometimes create a disconnect with those who have lived continuously on the continent. So even in the motherland, there could be a feeling of not quite belonging, a feeling of being a stranger in a familiar yet unfamiliar land. This highlights the profound and ongoing search for a true nation, or home for many Black Americans. It's a quest that began with the forced migration of slavery, continued through the internal migrations within the US, and now extends to global expatriation. Which brings us to today, the Overground Railroad. Now, don't get me wrong. We as Black Americans, when we expatriate to your country, we do not consider ourselves colonizers. We are refugees. We are looking for a place that will accept us for us. And with that being said, these tiny expat nations, these pocket of like-minded people forming communities in places like Mexico, Portugal, Costa Rica, Thailand, Vietnam. It's a new chapter in this long search, isn't it? A way to create our own sense of nationhood, even if it's on foreign soil. These contemporary expatriate communities represent a proactive effort to forge spaces where Black Americans can experience greater freedom, affordability, and a stronger sense of community and belonging, often free from the systemic racism that's experienced in the United States. It is a testament to the enduring resilience and self-determination of a people continually seeking their rightful place in this world. A people without a nation, perhaps, but a people determined to build one, wherever they may be. A powerful and enduring narrative, one that continues to unfold. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. Make sure you like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we'll see you next time on Philly in the Brain Explain It. Peace and love.